Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? And welcome to another edition of the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. My name is TJ Jones. Thanks for checking out the podcast. I really do appreciate it. Well, Who Dat Nation, I want to talk a little bit about defensive end Cameron Jordan. Now, Cameron Jordan has been in the news as of late because of his comments that he made towards Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Ben Roethlisberger. Now, we all know that the Saints have an up-and-coming game against the Steelers in the Superdome, and this game has some really big implications for the black and gold. If the New Orleans Saints win this game, they get the number 1 seed, and they get home field advantage throughout the playoffs, and all the Saints would have to do is win a game in the divisional round and the NFC Championship, and they're on their way to Atlanta to the Super Bowl. Saints reporter John DeShazer talked to Cam Jordan in the locker room, and he was talking about the Steelers offense, and then he talked a little bit about Ben Roethlisberger being a future Hall of Famer. And Cameron Jordan said this.
Is that true?
Roethlisberger? Yeah. So,
really?
What did this offense do well?
In this era? You put him at like a top 3 of this era.
I wouldn't put him at the top 3, but I think
top 5 of this era.
He's going to go to the Hall of Fame.
Top 5 of this era.
Roethlisberger, top 5 of this era.
You put him at top 5 of this era.
A couple of Super Bowls, he's probably going to have.
Is that a yes or no?
Yes.
You put, so you have, who do you be your top 5? Drew. Tom. Aaron.
Aaron, who got less Super Bowls than Roethlisberger, let's keep going.
His numbers are impressive. So you're saying
You're saying numbers are impressive?
His numbers are always impressive.
Okay.
Aaron. Okay, so then you put him right there.
Roethlisberger doesn't have decent numbers.
Peyton
who?
Manning. He's not.
Well, I didn't even count him in the era.
This is the era. He retired 2 years ago.
Him in the era.
That was most of Roethlisberger's career. You're saying he's better. He's better than Phillip Rivers right now.
Right now.
Career-wise.
Career-wise.
Because you give him the Super Bowl nod. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, he didn't have
so you
have a more accomplished career than Phillip Rivers.
You're putting him at number 5.
I put him at 5.
Okay. I mean, okay. I'd honestly put Eli before I put Ben, but okay.
Cam Jordan, not afraid to give his opinion about Steelers quarterback Ben Roethlisberger. Man, I don't have a problem with this. I don't have a problem with it at all. I feel like everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and everybody has a right to state how they feel about anything and anybody. Oh, so I thought until I started to listen to the media. Now I know if you've been listening to me since the beginning, I have some real strong opinions about the media because I feel like the media only caters to certain football teams. They put those players on that team on a higher pedestal. For example, now there's nothing wrong with Saquon Barkley. There's nothing wrong with him. I think he's the future of the National Football League, but there is no way in hell he should have been in a Pro Bowl before Alvin Kamara. It's just the fact that he plays for the Giants, a big media market team, and they put him ahead of Alvin Kamara. But that's another story for another day. I thought that everybody was entitled to their own opinion until I heard people like Chris Carter say this.
Of course. Cam Jordan, he's a bright guy. I know your dad played with your dad.
Yeah.
All right? Stay out the listing business. Number 1, the players playing the game today, they don't know that much about the league and the other players.
Okay, stop right there. Now, Chris Carter is trying to convince America that active NFL players don't know about other NFL players. They only know those players through watching film for the up-and-coming game they probably have to play against that player. This is why I have a problem. Cameron Jordan during the bye week, Cameron Jordan during the offseason, he works at the NFL Network. He works for NFL Total Access, which means that Cameron Jordan's job outside of being on the field is analyzing players. That's what he does. As a matter of fact, I have a very strong conviction that Cameron Jordan, after his career is over, he is going to have a very successful career in broadcasting. This guy gets asked back to NFL Total Access. I mean, this guy's done so much media work because they like his personality and they like his take on the game. So Chris Carter is trying to convince us that Cam Jordan doesn't know what he's talking about. If that's the case, why the hell is NFL Total Access keep asking him to come back? But continue.
I'm in the Hall of Fame. Stay out of predicting who's in the Hall of Fame. Ben is going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Wait, is or isn't?
Is. It's automatic.
Okay, I'm going to believe that Chris Carter didn't word this right. Because with this logic, he is saying that because he is a Hall of Famer, he is the only person that is qualified to say who is going to be in the Hall of Fame. Chris Carter, just because you're in the Hall of Fame doesn't mean that you just have an eye for who should be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, you can say that about the Hall of Fame when you got in there, okay? How long did it take Chris Carter to get to the Hall of Fame? Chris Carter had the best hands in the NFL during the time he was playing. I don't think I ever seen Chris Carter drop a pass. I used to emulate Chris Carter. When I was outside playing with my brothers or playing with my friends, we used to play football. I used to have my friends and my brother throw me the football, and I used to catch it on the sidelines and kind of drag my feet similar to Chris Carter. Chris Carter was a surefire first ballot Hall of Famer in my book. And I'm pretty sure he was a first ballot Hall of Famer in a lot of people's book, but he wasn't. So what are you saying, Chris Carter? Are you saying that because those people were in the Hall of Fame, they were right about not making you a first ballot Hall of Famer? They were right to make you wait such a long time to get in? Chris Carter, I'm just going to believe that you just misspoke when you said this, because just because a person is in the Hall of Fame does not mean they know what the hell are they talking about. Continue, Chris. Just continue.
It's automatic. Like, Eli is the questionable one, but I could understand Cam. He plays for the Saints. One of the greatest players ever was who? Archie Manning. All right? Who is he? The father of Eli and Peyton Manning. Eli spends a lot of time in New Orleans in the off season. So it's a little slanted towards his dad and the son.
Okay, stop right there. Stop right there. So once again, he is trying to convince America that Cam Jordan's judgment is skewed because Cam Jordan plays for the Saints. And the Saints have a legend named Archie Manning who has two sons that are from New Orleans named Peyton and Eli. Now, come on, man. Now, when Cam Jordan was discussing who was some of the best quarterbacks of the era that Ben Roethlisberger played in, you have to be an idiot not to bring up Peyton Manning. I mean, Peyton Manning, if you're doing a Mount Rushmore, you're probably going to put Peyton Manning 1 or 2. It depends on, you know, who you feel is better out of him or Tom Brady. As far as Eli Manning is concerned, you cannot discredit Eli Manning. I mean, of course, Eli Manning, he has fell off the cliff clearly. But at the end of the day, you cannot turn your eyes to a man that beat a team that was going into a Super Bowl undefeated. You cannot dismiss a man who probably played one of the best playoffs you have ever seen when it comes to playing on the road and getting his team to the Super Bowl and probably making one of the clutchest passes in Super Bowl history with a pass to Mario Manningham. Man, I don't feel like it has something to do with Cam Jordan playing for the Saints. I don't. Cam Jordan don't even live in New Orleans during the offseason. Cam Jordan lives in Arizona. So as soon as the season is over, Cam Jordan takes his son and his daughter and his wife, and they go to Arizona. Or they probably there already. Who knows, man? But for him to say, just because Cam Jordan plays for the Saints, he is biased against Archie Manning's kids is absolutely ridiculous, man. If you're bringing up Peyton and Eli as far as being top 5 within the era that Ben Roethlisberger is playing in, I can't get mad at you on that because you're probably going to switch Ben with Eli or vice versa. I just think that this is absolutely ridiculous. But I thought that it was all over when Chris Carter said this nonsense. But of course, you know Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp got to get in on the action on Undisputed. And Skip Bayless said this.
I want to talk about Cam Jordan for a second. He is a bright young man with a quick wit and some wisdom to back it up. But even though he has made 4 Pro Bowls, and last year he made first-team All-Pro.
He made first-team All-Pro and didn't get 1 vote for Defensive Player of the Year. But continue, Skip.
Just made another Pro Bowl team.
Right.
He has never gotten the sort of personal acclaim playing in the defensive shadow of Drew Brees.
Right.
No, that ain't it. The reason why he not getting the attention and the recognition that he deserves is because shows like this, First Take, and First Things First, too busy talking about those Dallas Cowboys who lay an egg week after week. Or they're too busy talking about the New York Giants who can't win a game to save their mama life. Or they're probably talking about that Philadelphia Eagles team that has by far one of the biggest Super Bowl collapses going on right now in NFL history. No, it's not because of Drew Brees' shadow. It's because you guys can't find the time to talk about an elite player. But continue.
With Sean Payton, the greatest play caller in the league, right?
Right.
He never has gotten the attention I believe he deserves.
Right.
And I believe he's been on a personal mission this year to talk his way into the acclaim that he deserves.
Oh my God, they are killing me, man. If you have ever seen Cameron Jordan do an interview, this guy has been the same way since his rookie season. He's always been the life of the party, so to speak, man. He's always been a fun-loving guy who speaks his mind and says how he feels, man. If you ever seen Cameron Jordan do an interview, he doesn't hold any punches. This goes to show you right here that Skip Bayless knows absolutely nothing about Cameron Jordan except for the notes that he probably got his personal assistant to look up about Cam. I don't feel like people that are not qualified to talk about players should try to share this information with America, because America counts on journalists like this for information. And I feel like these are the people that are deciding whether people like Alvin Kamara go to the Pro Bowl or people like Ryan Ramczyk need to go to the Pro Bowl. It's because they're not getting talked about because they're too busy with their own personal agendas. Damn.
But he's trying to, this is for his personal advancement, not for his team's advancement. And I think he's going to have to eat these words because I believe the Pittsburgh Steelers just took off.
Of course the Pittsburgh Steelers took off because you need those Pittsburgh Steelers fans, that large fan base that they are, to continue to watch Undisputed. Look, man, make no mistake about it. The Pittsburgh Steelers are a good football team. They are a historically great franchise, man. We all know about the Pittsburgh Steelers of the 70s with Terry Bradshaw and Franco Harris and James Stallworth and Lynn Swann and you know, Mean Joe Green. Look, those guys are legends. The franchise itself is legendary. I mean, we all know about this, man. But at the end of the day, the Saints aren't any slouches, man. For the last couple weeks, the Saints have been dominating defensively, and I feel like people aren't paying attention to that. And I know a lot of people in the Who Dat Nation are upset that the Saints offense has struggled. But me personally, I'm kind of happy they struggled a little bit, because if the offense was continuously blowing people out, how will we know what the defense is made of? I like to see that the defense can win the game for the New Orleans Saints. At the end of the day, the New Orleans Saints are a good football team. The Pittsburgh Steelers are a good football team. This is going to be a great game on Sunday when these two teams collide, because the New Orleans Saints need this game as well as the Pittsburgh Steelers. Cameron Jordan had every right to speak his mind. If that's how he feels about Ben Roethlisberger, then say it. Say it with your chest. He is entitled to his own opinion, man. You don't have to agree with him, of course. But don't try to discredit the man and try to make it seem like this guy's showing favoritism and saying because he an active football player, he don't know what he's talking about. Man, stop it. At the end of the day, we all talk sports. Doesn't mean that we're right. Just means that we have an opinion. But this has been the State of the Saints podcast. Check out the State of the Saints podcast on YouTube. Go to youtube.com, search the State of the Saints podcast. And also, you can check out the State of the Saints podcast episodes on iTunes, Spotify, and iHeartRadio.com. And lastly, on Twitter, you can follow State of the Saints podcast at SOTS Podcast 8. That's SOTS Podcast 8. Till next time, all I have to say is, who dat?